Okay, welcome back everyone for our newest episode. It's been like 2 weeks, and
Right.
we've got
Hello,
some,
hello.
yeah, we got some topics to discuss. I wanted to just say something first. When you
Of
are
course.
starting a page, because you just kind of started this page, you did the character, you have the little bit
Mm-hmm.
of the water. What makes you decide what to do next? Are you looking at the lighting, or you're thinking of like your plan in your mind, like you know exactly how you want to do something specific?
I think it depends on the page because, for example, here I clearly started with the background because this was the most important thing for me to get rid of the interior setting.
Yeah.
So I just went with the background. Um, this one I think it was about fire, so I just started with the fire, and then it kind of all worked together. So I think it depends. It depends on your plan. It depends on your mood and when are
Yeah.
you coloring it. So
Yeah, I'm just curious because some people say that they start a specific way, but I always change mine as well for each page. If it's like the focus of a page, or I just want to get the
right.
background done, and I'll do like the entire background and then do the rest. I was just curious
Also,
what
if
you're
I
gonna
color
do.
by myself,
Hmm.
I color more like you, like all around the place.
Yeah,
And if I'm doing it in public, like right now,
it's alive.
then I try to on a live, yeah, I try to focus on a specific object because it's just easier to focus.
Yeah, yeah, and then people could see your like beginning to end of that thing, I suppose.
Right. So I think I will just start like going up from the water, and I will
Mm.
do this part. And this will be a very happy page, although it's a necromant on a cemetery. But she's a
Happy
happy one.
necromancy.
Yeah, it's a happy necromancy. So we will add a few ghosts. I don't know if today we will arrive to adding ghosts, but
Mm.
this is the final idea.
And the topic that I wanted to discuss was something related to you and me, which
Oh,
we get comments about a lot.
ooh.
About people get mad about our talent, or
Getting
they
mad.
get annoyed. They're saying you're so talented, stop it. You're so annoying because you like figured out something right away, and
Hmm.
some people might take longer. So I wanted to discuss the thoughts we had about talent, skill. How do you develop those things? Is it something you're born with? Is it something
Mm-hmm.
that just takes time and effort? Um, yeah. And what
I
you think?
love this topic. I love this
Mm-hmm.
topic because I think we all use those words, like talent, especially in any creative environment. And I think everybody has different idea of what it actually means, when you say it.
Yes.
Um, Even us, like we had this conversation, remember when you were here? And
Yeah.
we discussed it, like, what does it mean to you? And we had this different view of the same word. Like when someone says to me, for example, like, oh, you're so talented, or just refers to talent in general, for me, it's people referring to something that is given,
Mm-hmm.
you were born with, or you have just natural natural skills, something that you I don't know. For me, talent
Yeah.
sounds like something, yeah, unnatural, supernatural, something like a gift.
Yeah, and then for me, what we were saying is the opposite. Like talent to me is
Mm-hmm.
like when you develop a skill so far that you are talented of that thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're at a level that's considered higher, but it doesn't matter how you got there, but like you are talented just as like saying that you are at a certain level that's high for that thing, whatever it is. Or I'm thinking even musicians, right, are told they're talented musicians.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like saying or scrubbing out all the effort that they've put into it. It's not saying that, I guess. But it depends on a
Um.
person, right? So some people say, "Oh, you're so talented. You must have been born into like a musical family or an artistic family,
Mm-hmm.
or like you got that talent from something, or you were born with it," like you're saying. And do you think that though, like that you're naturally born with artistic talents?
Um. Like before we start talking like about us and like our talents and stuff, I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of creatives in general, like musicians that you mentioned, and I know that you're into music and like communicate with them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you say someone is talented, do you differentiate it from like someone is skilled? Like, can you imagine that there are two different musicians? One is talented, another one is extremely skilled. Would you differentiate it, or you would just say the same?
Mm, that's tough. I to me the words are interchangeable, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because for me there is clearly a
Yeah.
difference in everything, like and it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that being skilled is like less than being talented or the vice versa. For me it's just
Mhm.
about the nature of like of the thing that catches my attention the most, that connects me with this creator. Either it's their skill, like which is a ability that was developed and you can see all the hard work they put into it, right?
Mhm.
And you're gonna see what they are doing and they're doing it incredibly and you're amazed by that. And then there are some people that you just think, wow, like it's from another world. And it doesn't even mean that it's worse or better, like that it's better than the
Mhm.
other person. You know, it's like such a small difference, but it's there. For me, it's always there.
Okay, so that's what you think, like talent. I think what I'm thinking of is my own upbringing. Like a talent show was like
Mm-hmm.
someone's hobby that they've been working on and are like
Mm-hmm.
showing it off, and it's like a talent that they have, but they built it
Hmm.
up or something like that. Or I suppose other people would say, "Oh, but it's showing off an innate talent that you have." Like innate, as in like you're
Right.
born with it, or something
Hmm.
about you makes you more skilled at something, which I think is true. Like certain body types are you're born with different kinds of muscles or how your body
Mm-hmm.
works. I don't know if I was like born with any sort of understanding, but one thing I was thinking of was the level that it takes. So I'm going to put a scenario out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say someone is explaining how lighting works. They're explaining
Okay.
it to both of us. You
Mm-hmm.
understand right away what they are saying. You're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Whatever you're saying, get it. And me, I'm like, I don't understand the way that you're describing this. I don't get it. And so then I have to explain it again. Or now they have to
Mm-hmm.
explain it in a different way. And they keep doing that. That's like, I have to put in more work to understand that thing. Where like you innately, or you understand the thing a lot easier,
Mm-hmm.
or and
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
don't have to put in as much effort or work into learning that skill or that thing, whereas me, I have to sit there and think about it and work at it, and like I don't get this. I think about it like math. Okay, like people are gifted in math. Me, no. I quit that thing in like before I
Exactly.
finished high
I like
school.
this
Like
comparison.
get that out of here. I do not get it. But some people do. They can
Yeah.
understand it instantly. Like their brain just gets it.
Yeah, I think it's very weird and like for me weird that people talk about talent when it comes to arts and crafts and something like that, music, uh, creative stuff, but they don't speak about talent when it comes to math.
Yes.
Although obviously you have to be talented to do math or like
Mm-hmm.
physics or any other science kind of stuff or sports.
Yeah.
Like why we don't speak enough about people who do sports when someone is good at any kind of, and I'm not talking about like Olympic champions, right? Because this is like
Yeah.
one of a
That's.
kind. Like we're not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
talking about Pablo Picasso and Olympic champions. I'm talking about someone who like colors decently, and someone who goes to the gym and I don't know, maybe wins like a local powerlifting competition in their gym, right?
Yeah.
No one would tell like, "Oh, you're so talented" to them, like to the gym people. They would say, "Wow, you put so much work into it,"
Mm-hmm.
because for some reason, sport is considered more like work, right? Where you have to like put the hours and
Put the work in.
effort,
Mm-hmm.
and that if you don't achieve those results, then you're just lazy.
Well, in the same vein, okay, so for sports, basketball, innately,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be born pretty tall. Like, I mean, there are some short players, but you have to work extra hard to go against what
Yeah,
other
true.
people are born with for that sport in particular, right?
Hmm.
And it changes for each sport, but it's like whether you want to put in that work to get, like, if you're not talented at something but you want to be, you have
Hmm.
to put in that work. You have to. Like it's if you don't
Yeah, but
if you're not born if you're not born with it.
yeah, I think there are definitely some sports that require like specific
Mm-hmm.
physics, but then there's general fitness, like just to go to the gym and like maintain a regular schedule. I don't know, like 3 times a week and do it for a couple of years. Like, if you say that you did it to someone, they would admire your discipline,
Yes.
right? They
Do
will
not
not
have that.
admire your talent, but maybe you just have talent for fitness. And it's easier for you than to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or some people who medically or physically can't do it, right? They have to work extra hard at that to
Hmm.
be physical, to do those things. Whereas, like, some people who are more able bodied can just do it easier and they just can do it.
Right.
Um, but, and so it's like when you're presenting yourself to the world, they can't see all the effort that you put into it. They can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
They just see the finished product. They can't see the hours and hours you put, the thought you put into it, all of that. Yeah. Just one thing I was thinking of was something I do with my music as well, or even with my art. I'll look at, I'll practice or I'll color for the day. I'll practice for the day, and then I think, am I 1% better? Like my goal is just 1% better every time, so it's not like crazy. I need to be 100% better at this thing I didn't get perfect. I need to now get perfect.
This
If I
is a
can
very
improve on
healthy
one thing.
approach.
Well, and that makes it a little bit easier to continue practicing, because if every single time you practice, you need to be substantially better, you're gonna just.
Do you think you have talent for music?
No. I feel like I have to work extra hard just because of certain things that I've only recently, like I always bring up ADHD or whatever. I have a really hard time with memory things, so remembering tunes to play like can be a little bit difficult for me, and some people who are better at it can learn things instantly.
But still, you play, you show up, you do, you
Right.
learn your tunes, right?
But to get away from that frustration of not getting better so quickly. So for me, for people who don't know, I play the fiddle or violin, same thing. So it's a very, very difficult instrument, and you can't have these expectations, especially when you're starting out. Like people play for 20 years and they're still learning. You're still learning. So like in order to get away from that frustration of myself being a perfectionist, I had to say 1% better at every practice. If I can get 1%, whatever it is, that will satisfy me. So I had to enforce that in myself. And I think about that with my art now too, because pages I get frustrated at, it's like, if I could do one thing better than I did the previous page that I didn't like, maybe I didn't like the way I highlighted something. If I could just like work on that one specific thing, great. Like a focus, a more like focus. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that 1% is a lot. It means like every 100 hours, like 100, not because I suppose you practice for more than 1 hour, but like every 100 practice sessions, you will double your skills, right?
Yes.
I'm very bad at math. I'm so sorry. As I said, it's not.
I'm agreeing with you, and I have no clue if that's right or wrong. So we're good.
So
Someone correct us, please.
If you are our dear listener, if you have some PhD in math didactics, please let me know if I calculated it correctly.
Well, it's more about yourself and how you think that you should improve or what you can improve on. So so far our own experience, right? Let's be a little subjective at the moment. When you are dissatisfied with a page, do you think about it for the next one? Like, are you thinking, I need to improve on this thing that I didn't do well? How do I improve on it? Do you just go with the flow and think, oh, I'll just try something different? Or do you like study? Like, do you go watch a YouTube video and you're like, oh, how do I do that thing actually? Or
yeah, I am a nerd. I like to study. I like studies. It's my favorite like activity. So I would just take out my sketchbook, for example. Like I can show the proof. Like I did a tree that I was not very satisfied with, and it was actually in this book. And I felt like I did so many trees, so I can do a tree, right? And I can record it, and I did it on a live, thinking that I would turn it into a tutorial. And this is an okayish tree. It took me 1.5 hours to make it decent.
Yeah.
Because it was just not looking good, and because I was confused about trees. It doesn't have like shading. Shading is not right here. Texture is all over the place. Everything is just. It looks okay. I'm not complaining or humble bragging or anything, but it was not like. I just imagine how I would open it and quickly, explain how to color trees.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to do it. So then I had to do some studies on tree trunks, and I was looking at the references, trying to understand like how they work because they have different textures, right? And then I just started to try different
Colors and
combinations, yeah, and
shapes,
like
yeah.
moods. And I'm not 100% happy with any of them, to be honest. I'm still on
That
my
birch tree is
journey.
great. The second one in. I like that. The purple.
This one.
Yep. I like that.
But yeah, I didn't move a lot further. And actually,
Right.
I had more trees. I don't know that I thought about it. I think I did it last year. I did the same. Like, you see, I still had.
Yeah. So you
And you can
just do a
see
lot of
my.
studies
Yeah,
to
I
see.
did. And like, you can see my birch tree evolution. It didn't
Oh,
go
yeah.
a long way. Like, I didn't improve. So sometimes when it happens, and I would just be frustrated, and I'm like, wow, this is the same tree I did, last year.
Yeah.
Maybe there are a few months before them, but then I would just maybe leave it be for now. Okay, it's okay to accept that, hey, maybe I'm not so talented at birch trees or any trees for that matter. It's okay. Like, I'm still young, I still have time. It's not
So young. One day I'll get my birch trees before I die. Just one day.
Exactly. If my
But
next birch tree will be just a little bit better, I'll be happy.
is that from you just thinking on the top of your head what to do, or were you actually like looking at a picture of a birch tree and trying to
No,
replicate it?
I
Or
like to study from reference. I would collect a few
references?
of them.
Mm.
Some of them would be real life birch trees. Some of them would be other artists who interpreted them. And then I would just try to replicate it, try to find my tree. Like, it's a
I
whole
see.
process.
See, and well, this kind of plays into you not always using tutorials, right? Whereas I'm someone who likes to use tutorials to understand
Hmm,
things,
true.
things I wouldn't have thought of before. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I did this exact same thing with fur. I was in my one
Hmm.
Elven book. There's like a wolf, and I could not figure out how. I was like, okay, fur is going to be really difficult to make it look like fur,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what colors to use, and I was using references and trying to replicate it, and it's just horrible. I was like, I can't,
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure this out. And then I started watching like Pinterest. There was like little Pinterest videos, or
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok. Still didn't get it. I was like, I can't. I'm trying to replicate it, can't do it. So I started watching like multiple YouTube videos. Like, I don't want to mess this page up, and I really want to color this page. I need to figure out how to do this fur that I want in my mind, that I want it to look like. So then I think it was like the fourth YouTube video, finally something clicked in my mind where I understood
Mm-hmm.
it. I understood the shapes, the patterns, the colors, and I just like it finally just worked. But it took so many other people. Finally, something made sense in my mind.
Hmm.
But for you, it could have been the very first one. It could have been the first video, and you'd be
Or
like, "Oh, I get
no,
it."
or no, maybe no, because for me, why I don't
Yeah.
like I don't say that I don't like tutorials. I love them, but I can't follow like step by step, because for me understanding is not repeating but figuring out the way to get there. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? I don't know if it makes sense. Like,
No, it
I
does.
like my
The
coping
journey.
mechanism is rationalizing and understanding. This is how I operate, like, with the world. I need to understand how everything works. Not everything. Like, I don't care about taxes. But
Well, and
things
you have
that
a
matter.
willingness to fail, though, to fail at it over and over again until you get it.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, this looks bad. Oh, this looks bad, over and over again.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because you have
until
to let yourself be bad at things. Like, no matter how talented you are, um, you can't be talented at
no,
everything. You will be bad at something. This is very
perfect
normal.
or bust. That's my motto.
Yeah. But this is what I actually, one of my like hottest takes on talent. I do believe in
Mm.
talent. Sometimes I say I don't believe in talent. I don't believe in talent as a general, um, like, this power, right? Mythical power that uh, brings you to a creative career. Let's say, like, oh, I'm so talented, I should be an artist or something like that. I feel
Yeah.
like many people imagine it this way. So I don't believe in that. Although people say talent is a pursued interest,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's fair.
I do.
But what I do believe in are talents that are smaller talents, that are just things that are easier for you than for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very natural that you're good at something and then you're horrible at something else. For example, my personal example is that I don't know how I learned to draw, like drawing, with
Okay.
um,
Like
for
a
example,
pencil.
yeah, like pencils or pens or like drawings, like I don't
I
know,
don't know what I'm doing.
fluids.
Shows me.
Like I'll
What's
give you an
wrong
example.
with you? Okay, sorry.
I was always good at drawing, and I mean good. Not it's not like
Oh,
I took
okay.
the pencil and I was
Said
drawing
not
like
good.
this. No, this is not what I mean. I mean that when I went to kindergarten and I was drawing a turtle, right? My turtle was slightly better than everybody else's.
Yeah.
uh, then it was not hard when I got into art, like to do the basics, to learn drawing fundamentals and all this. I didn't struggle. I was enjoying it. So when someone asks me how to learn to draw from zero, I can't explain it because it was naturally always with me.
You didn't
However,
actively think about it, like while you
yes,
were doing it. It
exactly.
just came to
It
you.
was
Yeah.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
However, I remember crying in my painting class for several hours, several times. Like it was painful, it was horrible. I didn't see colors when people were telling me, but look at this, like don't you see that, like don't you see the blue in the shadows? And I didn't see, and I thought I was damaged in my eyes or something. Everybody saw it. And then I thought, okay, maybe painting is just hard for everyone. And then my 14 years old brother came to the same to the same workshop. It was like a painting classes for grown-ups.
Yeah.
And I just wanted my little brother, to have some creative time with my teacher. And we had still life paintings, right? Like it's when you put a few objects and you paint them like with the direct light. So
Yep.
everybody paints like the same, cup, apple, whatever. Um, so when he arrived, there was still the same still life painting that I was working on like a few days before. And
Mm-hmm.
he painted it in 2 hours without any previous knowledge, like 2 times better than I did after crying there for an hour. This is how I discovered I'm not a talented painter at all.
Mm.
Did it stop me from painting or from enjoying painting? No, it didn't. It meant that it would be a little harder for me than for my brother.
Yeah.
But I did work as an illustrator, and my brother works as a fitness instructor.
Yes. This is what I was gonna say too. Like, I don't know if you guys had this in school, but we had something called gifted kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in like a completely separate class, and it was like,
Oh no.
or it was like a program where they were
Mm-hmm.
naturally gifted at like things they were smarter in certain things than the rest of the students. So they were
Mm-hmm.
gifted, and they could like do other things. But like the thing is, they were naturally good at things like math, or they just understood things better,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them didn't have the drive to
Right.
actually work at that, and like
Hmm.
a lot of them ended up at the same level down the road as everyone else because they never wanted to
Yep.
do the things, like it didn't interest them, so they just left it. Like even though they were naturally good at something,
Hmm.
they weren't interested in it. So I find that interesting. It's like,
Uh, yeah, I can relate to that. For example, if it's something that is like given to you easy, you don't learn like the process of improving, of pursuing. You don't learn how hard it
yeah.
is. You don't learn to enjoy this process.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same with
Absolutely.
drawing, for example. I know that I could be improving. I don't know, for example, my animal drawings, but starting to improve now, like putting a lot of hard work feels not. It's not like feels weird, but it feels unattractive to me right now. And at the same time, in painting, where I know that I have so many things to discover, and it's like it's hard, but if you try and you work and you learn and you study, and then you will achieve something,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it feels more, I don't know, entertaining for my weird brain. I don't know if it
No.
makes any
Well, that
sense.
might be you said you love learning, right? And then so
Hmm.
when you learn and you actually achieve something, it feels satisfying. You get that
Mm-hmm.
satisfaction of like, oh my gosh, I did this thing that I couldn't do
Hmm.
before. and it's like it is satisfying. A lot of people do prefer when they have things handed to them. That I mean, I feel the same way about my fiddle. Okay, I would very much love to be born with the ability to do this thing. Like,
Oh
just
no,
I'll
yeah, I
sell
would
my
love.
soul to. to
Obviously, yeah. I
yeah.
would love to be born with a talent, but
Hmm.
like I don't know. I just I think everyone is so different, and you kind of have to discover, like yourself and what is easy for you, what brings you joy, what brings you, suffering, but what brings you, I don't know, new discoveries. All the it's like it's so tailored to each person, to
Yeah,
each and everyone. Like you just
absolutely.
can't find like the way that would suit everyone.
And you have to be real with yourself, like what you are good in and you're not good at. Is it
Hmm.
something that you can look at, like, okay, I'm not good at this thing. Do I want to be good at it? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
what do I have to do to get there? Like, you have to put in the work to get
Hmm.
there. And unfortunately, some people it might just take more than others. But
But like even just I want to make it clear that even if it is easy for you, whatever thing,
mhm,
it doesn't mean that you're not putting time in there. It means maybe this time would be more enjoyable. Like in
yeah.
drawing, in my case, I was drawing my whole life because it was
Mhm.
easy. It was given. So there are many, many hours behind it. I just don't remember how many because I would draw like during my every class in high school, So there are 7 hours
Yeah.
per day.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just can't expect to be good at it right away, even though I
Yeah.
do that to myself. Mm, but if okay, I had a question about your improving and your skills. Like, um if you're looking at a page in the
Mhm.
moment and you want to improve it, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you're doing something right now that you don't like. Do you sit back? Do you like look at it from, you just put it away, sort of thing, and you
Yeah.
just look at it and you're like, what are you looking for to
Huh. That's a good question. I think it depends how you approach coloring from the beginning.
Mhm.
Um, Usually I have an idea, right? In in my case, I always have the idea. Either it's some element or some vibe or some lighting situation or whatever, but there is some kind of vision behind it. If I'm not happy with something on the page, it means that this vision doesn't match. The reality doesn't match the vision that I had in my head.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, so what helps is for me personally, is to step back, maybe close it and come back the next day.
Yeah.
You know,
I've had the
and
opposite
then
though, where I close it and then I'm like, ugh. The next day I'm like, what?
it also happens to me.
Yeah. But
Sometimes
I
it's
think
better, sometimes it's worse.
each page is different for me too. Like when I'm looking at it, I do like to hold it back from like a perspective and I'll just stare at it. I'm like,
Hmm.
are the colors okay? Is it the lighting I want? Like you said too, it's a vision thing. And so the vision of your mind of like what you wanted the page to be. And I think this is what happens to a lot of new people is they do have a vision and they don't have the skills or the talent to like
Mm-hmm.
execute it. And we did talk about that in one of the podcasts. I just like briefly, but it
Mm-hmm.
was an interest to me because that happens so much to me with anything I do, clay, fiddle, whatever, drawing. I'm like,
Yeah.
my mind can create all these crazy things, but like my hands can't do it. So how do I get my hands and my brain to kind of like work together and do this thing? And sometimes it takes a lot of studying if you're not naturally good at something, gifted. And I think it is how much work you put in.
It doesn't matter how talented you are and if you have those talents or no. I think what talent helps with is to pass this time like in a more pleasant manner, that you
Yeah.
will not consider it as like spending this time doing that. Because also with coloring and with drawing, with paintings, I always say that a lot of this happens in your mind. And what I mean is when you
Mm-hmm.
walk on a sunny afternoon on a beautiful cemetery somewhere, uh, if you are not into coloring or art, you probably would never look at how things look there. You wouldn't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention how the lighting works there, how what colors you can see, what kind of vibe you're getting from it. Do you know what I mean? But the next time
Yeah.
I'll be on a cemetery, I would be I would be on a watch, like checking out the pond and the colors that are reflected there.
Mm-hmm. I think of that in like Discord when people would post pictures of like the sky and it's like color
Mm-hmm.
inspo, and then people would say like what colors they'd use for
Yeah.
the sky,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Or studies, because you like to do studies, so that makes sense. You're looking at everything
Mm-hmm.
else in the world and thinking of it as like an art study, which absolutely, I feel like every artist tells you to do that because you build up that, what we were saying, that like encyclopedia of things in your mind.
Visual library, but I like the
Visual
encyclopedia. I like the encyclopedia version. Yeah.
Wrong thing, but same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different angle.
I think someone coming into the coloring world, it can be kind of daunting in that way if they start out with not knowing anything. It's like,
I think the
where do you
problem.
start?
So the thing is, I again, this is my my opinion based on what I've seen. Because if you don't know, well, you know, but if somebody doesn't know, I stream a lot, and there are some people who come to my streams who are new to coloring, and the algorithm just starts to showing them coloring people for the first time. Maybe it's a new
Right.
account,
Yeah.
maybe they haven't even started coloring, they're just looking around, maybe they're just ordered their markers and they're just excited to start. So many of these people grew up thinking that they were not talented. They didn't make it to the talented class, kids,
Yeah.
or whatever other trauma they have. But they end up with the idea that they are not talented enough. And then they, maybe for the first time in many years, they like reach out for the coloring. And so, and I think I also had it because, again, although I say like I draw my whole life, but it was not always a peaceful life, with myself. Not like I knew that I wanted to do with my life. I still don't know what I want to do with my life, career-wise,
Do any of us?
Yeah, exactly. But like I had a lot of doubts. Like, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I am. So I have this feeling that many people feel like the talent is something like mysterious thing that is given to some people and is not given to them. And then they say, oh, I will never be able to do this. And by this, they mean just this, literally. Just this, just coloring. I will never be able to do this because I'm not talented. And I think this is so wrong and so harmful. And please don't do this. Don't say this. You are talented. You can do anything you set your mind to.
Well, can I just jump in here? And this is a thing that's, I think, very cool about the color alongs that you do and that other people do, is because it shows people that they are capable. Their hands are capable of doing it.
Exactly.
And
if
they're copying you, okay, great, but like their hands are capable. Now it's like trying to, what I was saying earlier, it's like kind of getting your brain and your hands to work together to do the thing. So
exactly.
sometimes it just takes longer to figure it out, but like I will say like able-bodied people, right, or whatever, some people have to work harder at things, but like if they can follow you along and it looks pretty well the same, something that you did, and they think is so out of their scope and they're able to do it, it kind of gives them a confidence boost, like, oh my gosh, I'm capable of doing that. I just need to be able to do it myself in some way.
It rarely gives a confidence boost. Well, I mean, I hope it does. I hope
It does to me. When I do something I've never done before, I always think about the water I copied from you, and I'm like, what? Never would have done it like that.
But I know that for many, it brings another problem. It means that, oh, so I have the skills apparently to do this. Then I don't have enough brain power to come up with this. And I think that this is also another very common misconception about creativity. Because although you know that I went to school, to learn like graphic design and art direction. I actually had like creativity classes. Creativity is something that doesn't require a lot of talent. Again, as with anything, obviously to come up with something, some genius advertisement or strategy or a slogan, you do require some kind of talent. But most of the people who work in this industry, they're not talented, they're just trained. You are just trained. to come up
Yeah.
with things, because it's like an exercise that you can do. Because creativity it's even easier to train than actual drawing. Because it's funny, like for me, I studied like art direction with many people who were not art students before. Like they
Mm-hmm.
come from marketing or like other related business backgrounds, not from actually drawing or designing. So for them it was easy to come up with the ideas. Then they just needed to find a way like to translate it for creatives to
Mm.
create.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
thinking of like, oh, sorry, you go ahead for the rest.
no, you go.
I was thinking of what you were saying is like they're trained, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of training your brain when you do things like what you were saying is like going out in the world and looking at things
Mm-hmm.
and noticing colors or shadows or whatever it be. It's the same thing when consuming media. So
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of inspiration from like other artists who do digital art as well. And it's like colors
Mm-hmm.
palettes or things like that. And you're like ingesting all this media, and at some point it kind of regurgitates out
Yep.
pieces from
Yep.
all different things, and that's how a lot of art comes to be as well. It's really like artists when they study figures or they
Mm-hmm.
trace, like a lot of people trace references, like
Mm-hmm.
body references at the beginning to figure out
Mm-hmm.
what the heck it is. But it's all just like the media you consume for it, and I think you can train yourself and your brain by also just looking and noticing other
Yep.
people's art and details of other things, and it's like it's helping you train to be creative as well, I think.
Or like what you said earlier before we started to record. You said about the floating island. Like, how did you come up with the idea? Because I get it a lot, like from people. Like, how did you come up with the idea? So the
I
thing
can't
is,
with this page, Darya. Like it's my
I
favorite.
I had the idea for the floating island page for almost a year, because my first workshop that I made for my TikTok subscribers a year ago was about references, and we were gathering references for a steampunk fly themed page. And just
Yes.
scrolling through the steampunk references, I saw a lot of flying islands, and I thought, I'd love to add a flying island
I
somewhere.
remember that now. Yeah.
And for a year, it was just living in my head, and at some point it just appeared.
So good.
It's not
Even
like I
me
was
though. I feel like I can be creative, but even me, I was like, how the heck did you come up with that? It's crazy.
right, but it happens to me when I see some other person like being crazy, like you,
Mm.
I don't have to, uh, search for other examples, because I think you are very creative and the way you think is very different from mine. So I'm amazed by
Yeah.
your decisions, because this is something that I wouldn't come up with.
Right. I think that is true. It's
Hmm,
something like we notice in other people are like, my brain couldn't come up with that. How the heck did that
right.
person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what's cool. It's so cool. I love it.
So I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Like I asked you about your music talents. So do you think you are artistically talented in some of the fine art disciplines?
Mm, it's tough because if I compare myself to other people, right, that I see are my friends that are super, super talented, I'm like, oh, well, kind of. Like I'm maybe just under
Kind
their ability. But I think I do in general have better understanding than most people maybe. But like you and I were saying, we've been doing it forever,
of. Mm-hmm.
and we were doing other art forms in our past that kind of translated to
Mm-hmm.
coloring. But I do feel when I put something down, like coloring,
Mm-hmm.
because I was not doing it for a long time and I came back and I was like, how do I do anything? How do I use my
Yeah, happens
hands?
to me all the
Like,
time.
yeah. And then it was like trying to get back into it. And then it kind of, I don't know, because you look at your past pages and you're like, how did I do that? I can't do that
Yeah.
anymore. My brain can't do that. So it's just, it feels like it's a muscle that you just keep having to work on,
Mm-hmm.
just like a creative muscle too. And like the more you
Yep.
work at it, it starts coming forward. And I think of that even anything, music too.
Mm-hmm.
If I play something for half an hour and I don't touch it again for a week, I'm like, I don't remember anything. But if I do it every single day for half an hour, I feel like I'm getting into some sort of groove,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can start improving, actually. So it's the same with art, really. It's like whatever you decide to put time into is really like
Absolutely.
your focus and time. Yeah. And if you want to get better at art, you do have to put time into it. If you're not innately talented and you don't get that right away, you have to put time.
But do you think you have like those small talents that I talked about before? Like for me, drawing animals is, I consider it my talent. I'm good at drawing animals. Do you have something that is like always been
like a
easy for you?
specific thing?
Yeah, like a very specific.
Now you're making
I
me
think
think.
it's lighting. Spoiler alert. I think you're really good at
Lighting.
capturing lighting because I've seen your paintings, I've seen your digital art, some of it that you showed me. I think you're very good at lighting.
Maybe. I think I can understand how light hits objects, perhaps.
Exactly.
And how it creates shadows.
Visualize it easily.
Yes.
I don't know if it's easily or not.
Well, one thing that I was doing was teaching my boyfriend how to color. So his original page, it's a classic, like a single color for an object, whatever. But he was asking like how to do things. And I was basically explaining lighting to him because I felt like that was such a big thing to elevate a page. So I felt like if I sit there and explain how an object hits it, how it casts a shadow, and then he started kind of playing with it, and it gave the page like more depth is what he wanted, right? It was like, what?
Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
It's amazing.
So it's the same, like teaching someone who doesn't understand something, but they have this idea in their mind of what they want it to look like. And it's like, okay, for you, what you want to do is create more dramatic lighting the way that I do, which is understanding lighting and how things can cast shadows. Yep. I don't know. But it depends on what you want out of a page, really. That kind of segues into what I wanted to do for next podcast, which is, so in the same vein, I was helping my boyfriend figure out how to color and how to improve on the coloring page that he had. He wanted to learn how to elevate it. I was thinking that our listeners could send in their pages that they've kind of left behind and they don't know what to do with it. Maybe they have an idea in their mind of what they want it to be. They don't know how to execute it.
And we're going to help them.
Yes. So you and I have very different styles, but they can kind of take our opinions, like what would I do? What would you do? It's very subjective, of course. Maybe it's a page that they want to do in the future and they're just like, I have this sort of idea, but I don't know how to do it. And it can kind of be like a skill-based thing, like what each of us would do. Yeah. And just give them ideas. Obviously not do it for them, but like give them ideas on how they could do something.
Can we maybe use like Procreate to show
it, Yeah, exactly. We'll do like demonstration on how we could improve the page for them. Each of us, right? Because again, we have totally different styles, so they can kind of take whatever style they kind of gel with, and if they understand it. So our email,
we will leave it somewhere in
the description,
or maybe add it to. I don't know if you can do the magical
on the screen. I'll do it on the screen.
Magical text on the screen.
Magical text, coloringtalk@gmail.com. We'll get send us an image or take a picture of your page that you want us. And please allow us to critique it. As long as you can take the critique.
Well, critique it. It will be objective critique, right? Like we will
objective, yeah. I'm not going to be rude about it. Like I feel like every page is good, and like, but
we just want to help.
What they want. Like, yes,
we don't want to roast you. I swear.
No roasting, but just like what you have. Maybe there's like a reference you have in mind that you wanted to create, or like, I want this to be really dramatic in the lighting. Ooh, who can help you with that? Me. I want this to be, something that you like. Oh, I have this animal and I don't understand how to do this. Whatever. Yes. You know what I mean? And we can kind of help
this would be amazing. Please. Also, you can just reach out to us on socials or Discord if you don't use emails for some reason.
Yes, socials. Again, socials, magical text. Bottom, under mine, under Darya's. Send us your images. And as long as you're allowing us to show it on our next podcast.
Yeah, we will need to show it because it doesn't make sense if we don't show it, right?
Yeah, and I think maybe we can leave names out, but we can just like, as long
Yeah,
as you're
also
okay showing your
let us
image.
know if you want to share your name, right? Maybe you can
Yes.
make some friends this
Yeah, exactly. Or you can write your name in the corner, whatever it is.
way.
But it's just this idea of how to improve, and sometimes you're stuck and you don't understand. There's something in your brain that doesn't
Yeah,
get how to do something, or you have this image in your mind. I
it
really want to execute it,
always
but
for cut cut this. As you said before, that what do you do when you're stuck? So I have this perfect example, and I was very very stuck on a page, and it was a very important page because it actually was a color along, for my patrons. And I like to prepare special page, not like repeat the page that I did. Oh,
I just saw that. It's
oh,
okay. She gets more dots on her dress.
it's okay. Her dress just became dotted.
That's right. There you go.
How do you come up with your ideas? Well, this is more or less how it happens. So I was really stuck. I was just looking at it and I didn't understand what was wrong with it. Like something just felt off, and I had to call Olga and just cry and say Olga is a friend of ours, and I had to say like, "Can you help me?" And she did. She just like in 1 second she said what was wrong, and
Yep.
I couldn't see it because I spent 5 hours on this page.
Yep. And so sometimes you just need a new set of eyes. Really, I've
Yep.
texted you that. I'm like, hey, what do I do?
True.
Help me, please, senpai. So
I don't think I was very helpful, but
we will try and be as helpful as we can. I thought it'd be cool. A podcast, but more would be like a visual thing as well. But we can talk about like our skill set, what we know.
our skill set.
Pass it on.
That sounds cool. I feel very skilled right now.
Exactly. But we've seen other pages where people are clearly skilled at things that we're not skilled at, and we're like, what the heck?
That's true. Okay, so I want to ask you questions right now after the conversation that we had now. Do you think that if someone feels that they are not talented enough, should it stop them from pursuing creative hobbies?
No. We need creative hobbies. Just outside of the coloring world, any creative hobby is like an outlet. I feel like we are here to create, really.
Right.
And it's an outlet that we all need away from work, away from busyness, away from everything. It's a way for our brains to kind of
Exactly. And talent doesn't really matter. Like you don't have to be good to create, right?
No.
And you definitely don't have to be good from the start to create. You can start and then get good at it. And if you feel intimidated by someone else's talent, never be, because you don't know what was their way to the point where they are right now.
All the time that they've put in, everything,
Yep.
all the back end stuff that you don't see, you just see the finished product.
The sacrifices that they did. Look at my hands.
No, it's true. And it depends on what your goals are for that hobby. Is it just a thing that you want to do for fun and relaxing?
I think this should be the
stop
first.
Comparing yourself.
Exactly. This should be the first, idea that you.
But it's the first thing you think of when doing a new hobby is really like, what is your goal of this? I think if you want to improve, right, and you want to succeed at it, you just do have to put the work in. That's it, I think.
Right. But I think the first thing should be fun, right?
Yes.
Because the struggles will come later. Obviously, we all struggle with something. We often feel like we need to improve, or we're not good enough, or something like that. And we question if we're talented enough, if we're good enough, and who we are, to teach people. For example, I question myself this every day.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's very real. Yeah. But the first thing is to be happy about what you're doing, or at least enjoy it a little bit.
Well, if you're happy about it, the work becomes easier. The work that you put into it becomes much easier to do because you're actually enjoying the journey of it. That's what I had to do with music. That's what I do with art. Just the journey part. And then you have an outcome down the road, an improvement down the road.
Yep. And a surprising outcome that I've discovered after coloring every day for a year is that you actually get better at it. At whatever you do. Gosh. If you do it every day, I swear to God, I couldn't believe it myself. But yeah, sure can.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. We're all done. Send us your coloring pages for next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
And
We would be waiting for them.
That's right. See you then. Bye.
Bye bye.